Call the meeting to order, and everyone please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Are there any additions to the agenda?
Mr. Chair, all I have is the additions that you had, and just for the other commissioners' knowledge, Commissioner Johnson has a handout of 4 pieces of paper that were handed out this morning. Dan, yours was emailed to you about a resolution consideration that we have during the meeting. So, and that should be all I have for additions.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, hearing those additions, move to approve the agenda.
Okay, moved by Chris.
Second.
Second by Les. Any discussion? Not all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda, we have the minutes from our last February 9th meeting, auditor's warrants from the 12th and 19th, and the hospital warrants.
I would move the consent agenda.
Okay, moved by Les.
Support.
Second by Dallas. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Tyler? Good morning.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
All right, so I have a couple items for you here today. We'll start with the tax forfeiture one because that's going to be kind of simple. There is a small discrepancy. I missed a special assessment for the city of Pipestone. So how it works, if a special assessment is levied after forfeiture, we have to add it to the basic sale price. This is for a brand new street improvement. It was parcel 18.685.1260. We currently have the basic sale price at $2,000, with this special assessment totaling $711. So I need approval from you guys to either A, we need to raise the price to $2,711, or just change the breakdown of that payment where the first $711 will go directly to the city, and then we can keep the basic sale price at $2,000. I just need approval to either A, raise the price, or just shift how we pay out.
Refresh our memory, which property this
This is the one, it's a bare lot on the corner on 605 5th Street Southwest, so it's over by the park. It's just a bare lot. They just had an overlay done this last year.
Okay.
So that's what it is. It's completely up to you guys. I mean,
Does it have a chance to sell for more than that?
possibly. I don't know. I've been in touch with a couple individuals. They say that they were surprised at the 2,000, so I don't know if it would sell if it was higher or not. He didn't say one way or another. I didn't really press him on the issue.
Yeah.
I know I apologize for the mistake. It just kind of slipped through with all of their other specials for the city this year. So it's completely up to you.
Tyler,
Yeah.
the $700 special assessment, that was from the cleanup of the lots, is that what I understand?
No, it was for an overlay. An overlay project on that street. It was a street improvement.
Road work, okay.
Yeah, it was road work. Yep, so there's debt related to it, so I know the city is gonna want their money on this for sure. And by law, we have to add it to it. So, like I said, we either have to adjust that price, or I just have to shift how we pay it out. Like I said, we haven't had any forfeiture expenses this year except changing one lock, so we don't really have any costs to recoup here at the county, which is kind of strange for us in the last couple of years. But our costs are about a couple $100 is all we've had. So.
Well, Mr. Chair, my concern would be setting precedent by dropping the price to compensate for that road assessment. So I would rather see us go ahead and add that road assessment to the $2,000 minimum price that we set before. But I don't want to set a precedent in the future. I think this could come up again.
Well, the only reason it came up is because I missed the special. I will say that. At the normal meeting, I mean, yeah, I guess if you would have just set the price at $2,000, it would have been $2,711 at that meeting. So I mean, it was strictly just a missed special on my part. I will say that. So.
Yes, but there will be other properties in the future that also have special
Correct.
assessments for road work as well too, so I'm
Yes.
concerned about setting
Yep.
precedent.
It's pretty rare. This is the first time we've had a debt-related special assessment apply for the first year in my time here. So that's been 8 years. So it doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. But yeah, we can definitely adjust that. I just need to know exactly what the board's wishes are.
I guess on this, I don't feel like it's a precedent one way or another, because on any tax forfeited property, it's a lot by lot assessment of.
Right.
Or what do you just want to do to make it sell?
Correct.
If it brings three, leave it at 2, and it brings 3.
Right, but if it only brings 2, then we'll get nearly 1,300.
Right.
Are we looking for specific action on this?
Yeah, yes, we need an action to either increase the price or leave the price as is.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I'll move that we increase the price of the property to reflect the $700 special assessment.
Okay, we have a motion by Dan. Do we have a second? We have a second? Do we have a second? Motion will fail for lack of a second. I'd entertain another motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to adjust the price and leave the price at 2,000.
Okay,
Or
moved by
adjust-
Chris to leave the price at 2,000 and just redo how it's divvied up afterwards.
Correct.
Support that.
A second by Dallas. Any further discussion?
That means the city gets the first $700.
They would get the first 7-Eleven and we'd
Correct.
get
So if it
the
only goes for
$12.89.
only goes for $500, are they out too?
2,000 would be the minimum.
Okay.
Yep, so we can't sell it for less than that. The very lowest we could set the price at this is $712.
It can't be less than that.
Cannot be less than that by law. Yep.
Hopefully we'll get more than that, so.
Exactly. I mean, I've been in touch with a couple people that are interested in the property, so it could easily go more than that. I just can't guarantee that they would put in a bid higher than that, so.
All right.
What date is that sale again?
March 8th at 10 a.m. down in this office here.
Okay, any other discussion? Not all those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
So I will get that corrected, and then we can get that auction done. So the other thing that I had brought to you is a new software program that I'm would like to purchase for the auditor treasurer's office, mainly the auditor side office. This is a product that would essentially modernize the entire invoicing process for the county. Right now, it's all paper driven. Right now, someone, if they get a piece of paper in the mail or an invoice in the mail, they have to print off an invoice, fill out that invoice, attach it to the invoice, and manually walk it over to our department. We have to verify the information. If the information is incorrect, we have to print off a new invoice, refill it out to make sure it's all done correctly, and then take that information and enter it into our accounting program. So it's really a two-step. We're double entering things every single time that we do a warrant. This product, which I did bring up at the department head meeting, and I have full support with the department heads, they all think they'd be a great product, would essentially cut that processing time in half, because this integrates directly with our accounting software. So the way that, once we get this completely set up, each department will have an email where they can have their invoices directly sent to from any vendor. They would get an email update saying that they have to go into this program, approve it, and then it would electronically get approved by them, come into our office, and then we just have to hit one button to approve it, and we create a batch, and it would integrate with IFS. So it would cut our processing time down just in my office. It would cut the time to do commissioner warrants in half. I've also discussed with several other departments on how much time savings it would be for them. I know Bill said alone, he would probably have about $1,000 in paper savings a year, just from printing off invoices and printing off the vouchers, so on and so forth. Also, additionally, right now, we do not scan in, we try to scan in all of our paid invoices, but we're always a couple of years behind because we simply don't have the time to do it. The only reason that we've caught up now is because of COVID, and I've been able to have employees working at home, scanning. And it takes them probably at least 2 days to do 1 year's worth of warrants. Just scanning them in after we paid them. So just to get rid of paper right now is a very arduous task with our office and the amount of workers we have. So this product would do completely away with that. Once we get this fully implemented, the entire invoicing process will not see one piece of paper. And it'll be all electronically saved, and we'll be able to cut the time in half. And I believe that once we get this implemented, we will not have an issue with going to twice a month commissioner warrants, which I know has been an issue and a request by the board as well as several department heads in the past. Reason I'm bringing it forward this year is because it is going to be a task to implement. It's a non-election year, so we have time in my office. And as you are aware, we've having some retirements and some office change in the auditor's office as well. So this is a perfect time to kind of implement a change where the new employee will, essentially this is the only process they know. Lastly, as you can see the cost, and I just did bring an invoice update to you down. They did drop $1,000 off the price if we sign this by March 31st. So the entire cost for 3 years would be $24,500 instead of $25,500. So it is $1,000 cheaper. And since we did see a massive savings in our election equipment because of grants, we had set aside $100,000 essentially over the past 10 years for that equipment that we ended up not needing because the state came through and gave us grant money. After 2019 elections, even paying $25,000 for new equipment, we're still going to have roughly $45,000 in that account, and I'm willing to pay for this out of that assigned account, so it wouldn't affect the budget whatsoever. So, I know it's kind of a hard sell, but I really do think that this is going to be an awesome product for us, and it would modernize the auditor's office significantly. So,
I can see how it'd save money over time.
yeah, I truly do think it would. So,
Is this a private firm, or it's not affiliated with the Minlars or Minline or whatever they?
no, it is not. No, this is it's a private company. It's called RT Vision. Currently, they actually are working. We have a product with them with the highway department, and this would integrate fully with highway costing as well. That's going to be down the line a little bit. I want to get everything else integrated first, but then we'll be able to have, right now, everything out at highway is completely separate from what we have here. So if we want any information, I have to physically request it from Leslie, whereas once we integrate this, it's going to be all integrated and all the county books will be in one place, which would be nice. I've talked to several counties that have this, and they love the product, and they would never go back to it, go back to anything else. One other thing, I know it was brought up at the department head meeting. This is for a 3-year contract. As you can see on the second page, in case people are worried about the price just going up significantly, if we sign this, the price cannot increase more than 5% after 3 years. They're agreeing to that term. So there's no way they can jack up the price after 3 years.
Is that annually or for another 3 years?
My understanding with talking with this individual is for another 3 years, they cannot increase it more than 5%.
That's not so bad. I do have one question. The total
Yes.
cost, according to this, I'm showing 26.5, the 11.5 and 75 twice.
15.5 plus the 10.5 is 25.5. Is 15,000. Or yeah.
Are you looking at the right sheet, Luke?
Are you looking? Did they get you the updated one or not?
Oh, no, maybe I didn't get,
Line up there.
Yeah, I
oh,
apologize.
sorry.
Yep. There's $1,000. There should be $1,000 marked off.
Okay.
Yep. Sorry, I was able to talk him off to that this last week. I was able to
Okay.
talk to him into give us a $1,000 discount as long as we sign it. And this is something I would like to implement this next month because of the transition time with the individuals. I want to get this going as soon as possible. So,
Okay.
if approved.
What are your wishes?
Well, Mr. Chair, I'll move for approval.
Okay, moved by Chris,
I'll second it.
Second by Mark. Any discussion?
They're willing to come down and install it, or is it installed remotely, or?
They will come down and install. It's going to be working with IT. I discussed that process with Bill, and they can either A, host it for us, or we can have it here physically. I'm leaving that decision completely up to Bill. I think he's leaning towards having all the information here physically, and in that case, they would come down, and that'd be part of the installation cost. Yep.
We have enough room, computer, generator stuff and all that?
He indicated there is. Yep, so I'd cover that with Bill. He said that it shouldn't be an issue whatsoever to have them.
Just thought I'd ask.
No, yep, so, correct. Yeah, because I want to make sure obviously IT is going to be part of this because
Right.
of the whole process. So they said it should not be an issue to have this on their server, or on our
The
servers.
Invoices can just be scanned and it'll just pull the, like, total right off it, or?
It will, correct. If it's an invoice that is consistent, so like all of our printer invoices that we know is the exact same layout every single month, we set one up for Marco, let's say. Once they recognize that email, it'll pull the invoice number, it'll pull the vendor, it'll pull the price, and it'll pull the description off automatically. So all you have to do is just hit one button.
Nice.
Yep.
But each vendor, you have to set it up beforehand.
Correct. So I mean, there is going to be setup time, and that's why I want to get going on it, and I'm going to.
Well, you got the time to do it.
Correct. Now that we have the time, this year is the perfect year to do it.
Right.
I know every other year is kind of the only time when the auditor's office, when you're not dealing with elections every other year, to kind of do projects. So I think it's a perfect time for us, especially with retirements as well. So.
Right.
I really like how this software it works interdepartmentally.
Correct.
Interdepartmentally, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Save a lot of time and paper.
yeah. Any other comments? Not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Tyler?
And Kathy, I don't know, I didn't see this on the agenda. Do we want to talk about the COVID relief grants now, or do you want to do
Yeah.
it?
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was thinking that was on the agenda already.
No,
I
you're-
did hand out that handout for
Okay.
the COVID relief grants.
So this is, just to kind of give a brief little reminder of what this is the $256,250 that we got from the state for COVID business relief assistance grants directly related to this last closure in December by the governor. We received 47 applicants. I believe the request for dollars was around $800,000, slightly more than that. After about a long discussion with the committee, we wanted to, and direction from the state, we wanted to limit it to businesses that had to close. So essentially bars, restaurants, the gym, or any gyms, and then also busing companies. That's where they said this money should go to. How we determine these amounts is essentially, with some small adjusting, we just added up the total dollar requested from these companies and prorated it by their total amount of what we had to give out. So we're planning on giving out we could keep $6,250 for ourselves for processing. I don't think that's necessary. I think we should give out every single penny of it.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the amounts that we came up with the committee. We feel it's a good breakdown. Obviously, people aren't going to get as much as they wanted. That's just the way it is. I mean, we got a very small amount. With that said, if this $1.9 trillion package from the federal government passes, we're in line to get over $1.7 million. So we could do another round of grants for the businesses that did not qualify for this or did apply and did not get any of the money. So we should, if that passes, we will have another pot of money come in so we can do more grants in the future. But this is just for this amount. I just need approval, if you guys are okay with these amounts listed, to get moving on requesting Form 185B from the state to determine how much they actually have already gotten in aid from the state. And as long as everything good to go on that, get the grant agreements and then get it paid out before the end of March. So we kind of have to get going on this. So I just need to have the amounts approved before we can move forward. So any comments, questions, any concerns? I don't know if Les or Dan, if you guys have anything to add because you were involved in those conversations.
Yeah, when we met that morning, it was a long morning, going through the list, pulling this one out, pulling that one out, just targeting what we targeted. Then once we kind of picked them out, then we had to start working percentages that worked out with the dollars. I guess I'd make a motion to approve this list.
I will second that motion.
Any further comments, or?
I think it might also be worth noting that the specific directive when this came out was to try to help the service industry, bars, restaurants were noted in there. And I also like the fact that Tyler's already pointed out that it was a lot more affordable for us to make these decisions. We got that additional $1.7 million that we expect to be coming as well. Granted, that's not a done deal yet, but that does sound like we're going to get additional money. So we would have liked to have had more money distributed, but this is how we had to do it. I hope people know that, but there is more help coming.
I'm glad you gave it all out.
Yes. Yeah, personally, I think that any money we get from the state for COVID should go directly to people. I don't think we should really, I mean, obviously in the future we can, if we have some other safety concerns for the courthouse, well, the 1.7, maybe we could take a little out for something like that, but especially this grant, we didn't need to take any just because of administering it. I think it should all go out, so.
Right. Any other comments? Not? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right. Thank you. That's all I have for you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Tyler.
Thanks, Tyler.
Have a good day.
You too.
You too.
I had seen it already.
Is there another copy of that list? I don't seem to have mine.
You can have mine. I have a digital anyway, so.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
I go to personnel.
Tyler, you want to hold back for a second? Sorry. So the first thing I'm going to cover is the promotions in his office, so that's why I asked him to stay for just a minute. So the first request I have for personnel this morning is approval to promote Sandy Erickson to the Deputy Auditor 1 position, effective March 1st on Step E of the pay plan. And I did hand out the pay plan this morning and just circled her current rate and the proposed rate. And it is pretty similar to some of our recent promotions, and also kind of recognizing her years of service to the county. She's been with the county for about 20 years. We had a good discussion with Sandy. She's ready to accept the position at this rate if the board approves it. And I think looking forward to the challenge and the new position there. So I'd be seeking approval for that movement. I guess I'm doing this backwards. I should have done Janet's retirement first, but we'll do this first, and then my next request is to approve Janet's retirement. So,
Mr. Chair, I'll move for approval.
Okay, moved by Chris,
Second.
second by Les. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
thank you. And then my next request is to approve the retirement of Janet Bauman in good standing, effective March 5th, 2021. And she's been with us for about 25 years. She's been a very valuable employee to the county, and we thank her for her service.
Regretfully, I'll move to approve.
We try to get her to stay here longer.
Dan will second.
Second by Dan. Any discussion? Just thank her for many years of service.
Right.
Can't thank her enough. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did a really good job. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Anything else?
So that's what I had for the, I'll let Tyler go now.
Okay, thank you.
The next thing I have for personnel is the jailer dispatcher union contract. And you were presented with the final draft of that union contract. It has been approved by the membership and signed by them already. I do have their signed copy as well. But first I want to go through the changes with the board. So first of all, we got a 3-year contract again, the same as the other unions, so we're happy to have that match up. The first change to the language in the contract is on page 12, and that is under the vacation accruals. We did add another tier of vacation accruals, and that again is for internal consistency. We have that for all of our other unions now, a 16-year or a 16-hour per month accrual after 23 years of service. So that's just making that internally consistent. Just a note on that, I may be presenting that implementation for non-union employees at some point now that they are in all of the union contracts. So just a note on that, but I don't have that request today. The next change in the contract is under the allowances, and that starts on page 16, but the bulk of the language is on page 17. We did increase their uniform allowance from $262.50 semi-annually to $300 semi-annually this year, $325 next year, and $350 the following year. And we also made it so it is a taxable payment. Prior to this, they were done through AP and they were non-taxable payments, but now they're taxable payments. So that's one of the reasons we increased the rate, because it is taxable income now on their checks. And then finally is the pay plan on the very last page, page 23, Appendix A. And we did agree on 3% this year, 2.5% in 2022, and 2.5% in 2023, which matches the deputies and highway unions, which have already been settled. And just another note, they were really great to work with, this union was. I thought they were, it was just really good discussion and good meetings with the jailer dispatcher union, so.
Mr. Chair, I move for approval.
I would second and echo that, yeah, they were very easy to
It
work
was
with.
actually fun,
Yeah,
enjoyable
very
session.
professional and easy.
It's a contrast to other ones I've heard about in the past.
Just for my information, how many people does this cover?
We have 9, I believe, jailer dispatchers, yeah, that are full-time, and then we have a few part-time as well.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Any other discussion? Not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. And then the other item I have for the board this morning is the badge ID policy. So Steve has brought this to the board in the past for the approval of the funding to purchase the badge system. We have gotten that system now, and we're ready to start issuing the employee badges to our staff. The draft policy was in your board packet. It's called the Pipestone County Identification Badge Policy on the top. It's been reviewed by, Steve drafted it, and Bill, Bridget, and myself looked it over, and it looks pretty straightforward to us. So we would request that the board approve this policy, and then we'll start issuing badges kind of in batches of employees. Kind of as we get time, we'll have them come down, take their photo, and put their badges together.
Mr. Chair, I move for approval.
Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve the ID badge policy.
Okay, We got you down for the second. Chris had made the motion. Any discussion?
Well, looking over this is routine policy here for identification badges. Nothing jumps out at me. I think it's good policy. So.
I suppose we'll have to fill out one of these requests. Huh?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Any other comments? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I knew it was there.
Thank you. Just some hiring updates. We are ready to make an offer to a deputy candidate, and we are interviewing our highway candidates this week or next week. So hope to have a couple new staff here pretty soon in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
And that should be everything, unless you guys had any questions for me.
Any questions for Kathy?
All right.
Pictures for this are taken with a passport stuff? Or
So we're
something else?
trying to decide if we're gonna take it down here in this, there's this little office right here, or, in the passport office, but it'll be one of those two places, and we're gonna take it with passport camera.
Okay.
Yeah,
Probably be easier to do it there.
yeah, I think so.
Okay. Want to take a break or move on?
Doesn't matter.
I'm ready if you guys are.
Okay.
Doesn't make any
Okay.
difference to me. I'm here till 10:30 no matter what, so.
Okay, well, yeah, let's go to you, Nick. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, Nick. The first item I have today would be approval of some right-of-way payments. These are for some upcoming box culvert contracts. Nothing out of the ordinary on these. There's two that are a little bigger, but they require some temporary easements to do some more shaping. So all four of these are, straightforward.
Okay. Heard the request?
I would move for approval.
Okay, moved by Les, second by Dallas. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, my next item is just information. A number of years ago, we put together a policy for these dynamic speed signs. We have 2 in Hatfield and 3 or 4 in Edgerton. I was contacted by the city of Island recently. They would like to put one on the east side of their town. We've requested quotes from the companies that supply these, and we've only got one back so far, so I'm waiting for at least one more, and when we get that, I'll be back to the board, request approval for that. But just wanted to give you the heads up that Island's looking at taking advantage of that program as well, so.
So, Nick, have you seen the one they put up in Jasper?
No, but yeah, you're right, there's one in Jasper too, yep. Yep, I forgot about that one, so, yep, that's on the list too, so.
Now, is this right when you're coming into town on the east side?
Yep, on the east side on our county road too is where they like to put it, so. Their city council feels that speed is an issue there, so.
I can see that.
So we'll put that up there and hopefully that helps out, so.
Going through on the highways and speed's an issue too, so I can see where coming in on that side's an issue as well.
Yep, so. Next up, we've updated the prioritized bridge replacement list. We have to have a board resolution approving that in order to qualify for bond funds. These structures are large enough to qualify for bonds, so yes, we need board approval, and then we submit this with the plans and we get put on the bonding list.
I would move for approval.
Second.
Second by Chris. I'd just like to make a comment that at a recent AMC meeting, when they had a list of bridges funded by bonding, it was nice to see Pipestone had quite a few on that list. A lot of times we get kind of the short end on highway funding, but Nick's been doing a great job of.
Jared's been spearheading that, so.
Okay, well, then Jared.
Yeah, he's-
Certainly extend our thanks to
Yes,
him.
please do.
Yes.
And whoever of your staff is involved, because.
Yep. We're all involved. He's our main bridge inspector. He's really passionate about that, does a very good job at it. And, you know, he's really been on top of all this bonding stuff, and we've been, I feel we've turned out very well with.
I mean, I realize our bridges are probably smaller than
Yes.
some counties, but I think on the list, we probably had more on the list than any other county in the state, which,
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. If you recall at the road and bridge hearing every year, we show that graph of what decade or how many bridges we have built in, you know, and you see that we had a really sharp curve back.
30s.
Yeah. And so those are all coming due now, so we have a lot of need right now, according, you know, in their formula and whatnot. So I feel we're kind of over the hump, but we're on the good side of it, I guess, but we still have a lot going on right now, but.
I think compared to some counties around us where they've kind of neglected to get caught up, they have a lot of issues, is my understanding.
Yeah, things might go quite poorly for some of them, you know, like they get hit with a bunch of bridges that are all of a sudden posted and they can't replace them fast enough, you know. I got to give some credit to Dave Halbersma too, because he saw this coming a long time ago, and I remember him being really proactive about it. Like, there's going to be a lot of people that are in the same boat. Let's try to get out in front of this wave so we're not all due at the same time competing for the same money, you know.
Right.
So, you know, that was his idea. He started that, and, you know, we're trying to finish it off here. So, but yeah, hopefully 5 years, this looks a lot better. We're in a lot better shape, you know, and we can, then we'll have to get really aggressive with our overlays because those are really piling up on us now too, so.
Right.
But yeah, you know, you're right. We're sitting good. We've got a lot of bond funds. We've got a lot of special town bridge funds. That's when you apply for township bridge funding and, you know, your account is dry, but there's a little piece that gets dedicated to this special account every year. And, you know, for the people that are, their account's empty and, you know, they have applications out there, they, you know, that take some of those people and give them the special. And we've got a lot of that too. So, you know, it helps being aggressive with the replacement. You know, you get more of that, access more of those funds, so. Yep, we're moving along good. I'm happy with where we're at, so.
Good. Okay, any other comments? We do have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I think Dan.
Yeah, you gave the thumbs up.
I'm in favor.
Yep. I got you, Dan.
Okay,
Little delay sometimes.
Okay.
Next up then, I have, we received another request to sponsor an LRIP application. This came from the city of Edgerton. They're looking at, the segment in question here is on Main Street from our County State Aid Highway 1 up to Howard Avenue, I believe. Kind of past DeBoer there. They are in the same boat as the city of Pipestone. They're under 5,000, so the county has to sponsor it. This resolution is pretty much the same thing as the one that Pipestone filled out. And then the agreement I sent them as an example that they'd have to enter into is the same one that Pipestone has done twice now. So, you know, really they're asking for the same thing that we gave to Pipestone. I think this would be a good thing, so I would recommend we agree to sponsor it.
Move to approve.
Okay, moved by Les,
Supported.
second by Dallas. So it looks like they're gonna redo their entire Main Street?
We have a representative from Edgerton here.
Yep.
Would you like to hear from him?
Sure.
Come up to the front and introduce yourself.
My name is Joel Farrington. I'm the clerk for Edgerton. This sponsorship here, local road improvement program, will cover from Mill to Howard, and it's really part of the first section of our capital improvement program we are moving forward on in the next several years. The city's never had a major improvement like that, sanitary sewer, stormwater management as well. So this is really just going to help get us started here moving forward.
How many blocks is this?
Oh, gosh. Two?
On Main,
Okay,
yeah, but their project covers, saw the map, but I didn't count the blocks, but this is,
but the 2 blocks on Main are where the businesses are, or?
Yes, there's several businesses. It's right next to DeBoer Chevrolet, Wireless World, Chandler Feed, Blydenburg Trucking, the End Zone, Veterinary Clinic is right there, Tally Ho, Edgerton Food Center, Rogers Auto Sales, and Zwart Construction.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that'll be a nice improvement. And is that, when it talks about the 1,250,000, is that the total available in the state, or the total per project, or?
I think that's the grant cap per project, if I remember
I
right.
believe you're correct.
Okay. Because I'm assuming the project must be a pretty number much larger than that.
Yeah, roughly speaking, 15 million. And so that means that, we're only going to be able to accomplish this large portion if we're able to acquire some grants. So we're
Right.
turning over absolutely every rock we possibly can.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's really expensive to do some of this stuff.
And with us losing some of that, our normal gas tax funding, it's more important now than ever that
Right.
we're accessing things like, or, trying for grants like that, so.
Exactly.
My understanding is the whole Main Street will get done sooner or later, but they don't want to do it all at once, correct?
Correct.
Just for ease of access and cost.
Yeah, pretty much all the above.
Yeah.
We just need to keep part of Main Street open so that everyone kind of get in and out.
Right.
Very proud of our Main Street being, full, unlike, struggling other
Frankly,
smaller
it's
communities.
thriving compared to a lot of them that you see.
Absolutely.
Got it.
Yep.
How many different phases are you gonna do it in?
Right
First-
now here, our major project is really 7 phases. So with this first one here, we're looking at the first 3 phases. And we've got to start downstream and then work up from there. This really jives with the entire plan.
Okay.
And you're gonna do water, sewer, and storm?
Yes.
That's the plan anyway?
Right now, yes, and we're looking into what it would be to, what would the additional costs be for gas as well. So we're since the streets and everything are already going to be dug up, we want to see what would the additional cost be. So we're looking at absolutely everything, maximize every dollar efficiently.
That's good thinking.
For those of you that don't know that Edgerton that well, the sewage treatment is on the southeast end of town. So they're gonna start on the south end of Main Street and work uphill, basically.
Sure.
I live on top of the hill, so I'm not first in line for anything, but. And it's long overdue. Edgerton has been known to be fiscally conservative, but they've been too conservative in the past. Some of them, in that particular area of town, they did some reshaping, and the county did some reshaping, and took some roads down 2 feet, and now we got a freezing problem with water there in that area by the vet clinic, and so there's only 4 feet of cover over the water.
Are they gonna raise them then?
No,
No.
lower the water.
Okay.
But and it's something that happened that has unintended consequences,
Right.
And that's just the way it is, so. But hopefully they can correct that with this project.
Sure. Interesting. Well, any other comments? Not? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
Sounds like a wonderful project.
All right, well, that's it for me for right now. We have a bid opening at 10:30. That has to wait until 10:30. That's how it was advertised, so, anybody else have any other questions for me in the meantime?
All
right.
I suppose we could recess for a bit, and then we'll come back and tackle our other stuff before the bid opening. We'll take a short break, Dan, and we'll,
Home break.
yeah, recess for 15 minutes or something.
Wife get the shot tomorrow too, Dan?
No, she got her first one, be 2 weeks ago tomorrow.
Oh, good.
She got the Moderna, so
Which one are you getting tomorrow?
Pfizer.
Pfizer.
You didn't have anything for me, did you?
No, not until the bid opening.
Sounds good, I'll go check.
Okay. Okay, we can reconvene and we'll move on to this electric power vehicle resolution. I had handed out some different materials this morning. I guess the more I thought about this resolution, and then I sent or gave you each a copy of our the guidelines for requested resolutions and proclamations that we approved at our organizational meeting in January. And while the resolution before us, it meets some of the requirements, it also meets some of the reasons that we should not address it. And I was wondering if it would be okay if we just tabled this resolution for now and instead would maybe consider adopting what I handed out was an MRC proposed position. So this would be a position that just the Minnesota Rural County Group is planning to take. And, you know, basically we would just be saying that we're okay with them taking that position on behalf of the various rural counties involved. And I thought that also I would like us to potentially submit comments to MPCA directly in the future. The comment period actually goes through March 15th. So I don't have anything drafted yet because I printed out the MPCA Statement of Need and Reasonableness, which is nearly 100 pages, which, yeah, take a little while to review that. And but I was thinking about using the talking points page that was in our board packet as kind of a guideline. And if any of the board members would have, you know, issues that they'd like to add on to those talking points, you know, maybe we could come up with some type of, basically public comments that we could all get on board with and then submit to the MPCA so that it would be on the public record and, you know, they would get to take that into account along with whatever other comments they're getting yesterday and today in their live hearings, and also whatever other written comments they get through March 15th. And we will be meeting on the 9th, of course, so we could address it then. So I guess I have several things I'm hoping that we can act on. One being possibly tabling the resolution that was on the agenda, and then taking up these Minnesota Rural County proposed position for right now, and then by March 9th, I will try to draft some public comments with input from the rest of you that we can maybe look at then.
Did Dan get this?
He should have. I think Kathy
Yep.
sent it to Dan.
Dan, I did email you the handouts this morning.
This one emailed them, okay, I have, yeah.
So yeah, if you want to look at it like the Minnesota Rural County proposed positions, only 2 sentences, so it's.
I've got it now, yeah. And I concur with your thoughts, Luke. I would not be in favor of this resolution. But I've got a number of questions green card, but it's also how these rules are adopted. So I don't want to confuse those two. That's very separate.
Right.
I also would be very good to see what our representatives have to say about both Senator Weber and Representative Schumacher, and also what AMC has to say about this. So I don't want to get up in front of these on this. We have a lot of questions to ask first.
Okay. Well, I think I can expound on that, actually, because when the AMC Environmental Committee met last week, they discussed it for a very long time after hearing from MPCA staff. And it actually, went way beyond the time we were supposed to adjourn, to be honest. But eventually, they did make a motion to submit a proposal to the AMC board to take a position on the Clean Car Initiative. And then the next day at the AMC board, I did present that on behalf of the Environmental Committee. And the AMC board chose not to do that at this time because they would like us to basically go through the regular policy process, which I was okay with. They feel that the length of the process that they have to go through, even to do the rulemaking through MPCA, I mean, they're not going to be able to make a final decision even this year probably. But I think that you're right in that the way they're going about it is what I think is most troubling to most commissioners in rural Minnesota. I think we all know that they don't want to go have it done legislatively because it won't happen. There's just not support for it, and so they're doing it through rulemaking because that way the legislature doesn't have to weigh in on it.
Mr. Chair, on my policy committee with the transportation infrastructure, this was very contentious topic that was brought up, and it went beyond rural Minnesota too. Even a lot of the metro commissioners were still very hesitant on how this is getting fast-tracked, and everybody has a lot of questions on that too. We didn't take a firm position on it, but it was pretty much unanimous throughout our committee that everyone had the same hesitancy right now as well.
I guess after talking to Dan Larson for a while yesterday, of course, the Minnesota Rural County Group has a long history of kind of leading on some of these controversial topics that, AMC is probably not going to initially take a position on because they would prefer to have issues, that are more universally accepted by most, or if not all of the counties. And at this time, I don't think, they'd be in a good position to do that because obviously some of the metro counties would be much more okay with this proposal than a lot of the rural counties would be. But I know from the, meeting with the rural counties, it was almost unanimous that they were not very happy about it, which is why I am hoping that basically I'm just asking for, do you feel that it's okay that MRC takes this position, which is basically what you mentioned, Dan? We are opposed to the process more so than the rules per se. I mean, we just, don't think it's right that it's being done by rule, and we think that it should be done through legislative action instead, and that's what this position states. So,
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to table the resolution that's before us.
okay. We have a motion by Dallas to table the resolution.
Second.
Second by Chris. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Now we can
Motion
continue
carries.
discussion.
Okay, then we can move on to the Minnesota Rural County proposed position. This would basically be just saying that, we are okay with the Minnesota Rural County Group, taking this position, basically.
Which attachment? I'd like to read the wording of that position.
Sure. It reads, MRC supports legislative review of any and all issues of consequence that would bring harm to the culture and/or economy of rural counties. Further, MRC opposes the attempt by the MPCA to adopt the Minnesota Clean Car Rule without consulting the legislature and encourages the Walz administration to withdraw the proposed rule and submit the issue to legislative review. And you had a motion?
Yes, so I made the motion.
Okay, and Chris made the motion to accept that. Do we have a second?
I'll support that.
Dallas, second. Any further discussion?
I still wonder if this is concise enough to delineate between the rulemaking versus the clean energy question. I want that clear, that we're not opposed to clean electric vehicles. We're opposed to the rulemaking process.
Right, to me, this seems very clear, because it does not say that we're opposed to any clean car rules or clean cars at all. We're opposed to the way that it's being done through MPCA rule versus the legislative process.
Would you consider where it says MRC opposes attempt by pollution studies to adopt the Minnesota Clean Energy without consulting? If we could make it real clear, saying adopt any rule without the legislative conference, not specifically the Clean Energy rule.
Well, it does say that right above in the first sentence. Supports legislative review of any and all issues of consequence that would bring harm to the culture and/or economy of rural counties.
By adding that next sentence in there, when we specifically talk about the Minnesota Clean Car Rule, that's where, in my opinion, it gets a little bit muddled. I would make that a little bit more concise.
We're just opposing the MPCA's adopting the rule without consulting the legislature.
Any rule.
Well, I guess I will refer to some comments that I heard at the AMC board. Some commissioners made the comment, well, there's some rulemaking that probably makes sense, like say for human service waivers or some correction issues or things where there's a little more flexibility by having it done through rule versus the legislature, because, I mean, it's a lot harder, once they decide something, it's a lot harder to get it changed if you need a change. So for certain types of rulemaking, it's probably nice to have more flexibility, because it's easier to, make a change if you need one, or, are trying to address unintended consequences of something. So I guess you have to be careful what
do
you
you feel that there have been instances when Minnesota Pollution Authority has overstepped their rules on other people and made rules where they shouldn't have made rules? This isn't the first time that they've overreached.
Oh, I agree with you. But I think that's why we are trying to take a position that this is significant enough for everyone that we feel there should be legislative review versus strictly the rulemaking process. And that's all that we're trying to agree to here. Any
Would you
other?
consider what that Minnesota Clean Energy Rule and any other rules without consulting?
Well, I think if you're asking I don't think that they want to take a position that they're against all rulemaking, because that would be very challenging to,
back up.
yeah, you're not going to get any support for that, I don't think, from anyone. And MRC doesn't want to take that position. I mean, I agree with you that there's many times where there's some overreach in different rulemaking, but I don't think that, whether it's this board or the rural county group or AMC, nobody's going to try to tell the state that they can't have any rulemaking, because that won't happen.
But I'm still concerned that this is going to appear on its face that we are against the Minnesota Clean Car concept.
I guess I don't read it that way myself. I don't think it's that we're against clean anything. We're only against the procedural aspect of it.
As long as that's clear, that's my only point, as long as it's clear.
I agree. Okay, any other comments? We do have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, then, like I say, I will try to come up with some draft public comments that we can take up at our March 9th meeting. I'm not looking forward to reading through this 100-page statement of need and reasonableness, but I suppose I'll have to. But I do have one more thing I would like to bring up before us today. You should have a copy of a letter that begins, "Dear Editor," and then talks about Senator Bill Weber at the beginning. And this is just a letter that I was hoping that we could get behind to submit to our local papers as an editorial, basically just thanking Senator Weber for the great job he's doing, taking the lead on the Emergency Management Planning and Preparedness Bill before the legislature right now. He was the sponsor of this bill the last 2 years previous. It was not acted on during those sessions, but considering with COVID and everything that we've had to deal with since then, we're hoping that his bill will be taken up. It's basically asking the legislature for $3 million additional, well, actually, new funding, because they currently contribute zero to emergency management planning in the state. Even though they mandate a lot of these services, they don't help pay for them. And basically, this boils down to approximately $30,000 per county statewide. So it's not a big amount of money. $3 million, I know, is a lot to us individually, but in a state budget that is approaching $50 billion, $3 million is really not a big ask, considering all the additional duties counties have had to take on with COVID and everything else that they otherwise handle as far as other emergencies and disasters and whatnot. So I guess that is my request, and I'll open it to discussion or questions or whatever.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, moved by Les to approve,
Second.
second by Chris. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And we can go back to Nick for the bid opening at 10:30.
How we doing?
Very good. How are you?
Spring is here almost.
Right.
Pretty good.
Yep, things are
Yesterday afternoon, it
melting.
felt like it.
Yeah.
Yesterday afternoon, it felt like it.
Did Kyle get a copy of this? Or could you email him one?
Yes, I can email both of them,
Okay.
the handouts from this morning.
It's easier.
Okay.
Who's on from Edgerton?
Jill.
Jill. Okay, so Jill and Kyle, if you have a copy of this letter about Senator Bill Weber, feel free to put that in your paper whenever it's convenient on behalf of our entire board. Thank you very much.
We'd like to know if that was teased.
Right.
Comes Jared.
I guess I have 10:30 if you want me to get going on
Sure,
this.
go right ahead.
This is bid opening for two contracts or two projects. One's on our County Road 8, west of Holland. It's a bridge that's been posted for a number of years, needs some replacement, or definitely needs replacement. And then the other one is on a county-maintained township road, just to the west of this one and north. It's part of that road swap that we did a couple of years ago with that township, so.
And isn't that one gonna have that flood?
Yes, the one on County Road 8, it's gonna have a different configuration. It's got what we call floodplain culverts. That was, if we did that, we were able to get away from making an actual like concrete bridge structure. That road had been closed for 2.5, 3 months and had the railings that would have tightened it up a little bit, and they catch snow too. So I'm excited that we were able to do it this way. So,
Good.
So with that being said, before I get started, are there any more bids? Okay. First bid I have is from Riley Brothers Construction out of Morris. All right, the bid from Riley Brothers. $692,322.49. $692,322.49. Next bid is from Henning Construction out of Adrian. All right, Henning's bid. $649,905.90. $649,905.90. Third bid is from Midwest Contracting out of Marshall. Bid for Midwest Contracting, $744,505.90. $744,505.90. Next bid is from R&G Construction out of Marshall. R&G's bid, $704,875.49. $704,875.49. And the final bid is from A&C Excavating out of Marshall. The bid from A&C, $702,986.49. $702,986.49. Those were all the bids we had. Engineer's estimate for this project was $754,338. $754,338. So these look like really good bids to me. Every one of them beat our estimate, so I'm very happy with that. Then we'll run them back to the office and check them to make sure that everything adds up, and should have a recommendation for award today yet, or hope soon, this morning yet, so.
Okay.
Did all the bonds checked out?
All the bonds are good.
Okay, all the bonds are good, so that's good. All right, thank you very much.
Thanks to me.
We can recess until they come back. We'll take a look. We'll have to call in again.
We can't call you Steve yet.
Well, I know the number to call into Zoom, but I don't know
Oh.
the ID number or whatever.
Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
949 5126 5214.
Enter your participant ID followed by pound. Otherwise, just press pound to continue. You are in the meeting now. There are 3 participants in the
Can you
meeting.
hear us, Dan?
You have been added to the waiting room. You cannot talk or listen until the host admits you to the meeting.
Well, now I got it.
Okay,
Now it's up.
good. We accidentally turned it off.
Sorry.
Okay, we can reconvene.
All right, I just heard back from the office that all these bid tallies checked out. So with that, I would recommend awarding to Henning Construction out of Adrian for $649,905.90.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that a motion.
Okay, moved by Les. I'll second.
Dan, second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Take it you've worked for these guys before?
Yes,
And they
Yep.
do good work, as
Yeah.
I recall, don't they?
Yep.
yes.
He's been working for us, what, 5 years or so?
Yeah,
4
at
or
least.
5?
Yeah. Second on the board.
There's no box contractors we have that I don't want, you know, I'm fine with any of them. One thing that sticks out with me with these guys, they did that Indian Lakes Trail and it was pretty cold out and they got down in the water with no waders to do some work that needed to be done and I thought, whoa, wouldn't catch me dead doing that, but, you know, so,
Well,
yeah.
that in itself was a good project too, that they did.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. Nope. Good deal. We got plenty more coming, so we kind of beat the big wave with the state because we, you know, we've been pretty active. We got a lot of projects just kind of sitting there on the shelf waiting at the
Right.
state for when they give us the green light on funding, they just sign them and send them back because all the other review has been done. So, you know, we try to stay out in front of it, and I think that's probably helped us access some funding too, so.
That's great.
On the AMC meeting, they alluded to a lot of the money getting earmarked as for that bridge that goes between Duluth and Superior, Wisconsin, that they're earmarking a lot of money year to year to set aside for replacing that bridge.
Okay. What's the name of it?
I forget the name of it. It's
Okay.
got a name, but
I've probably heard reference.
no, it was going to like creep up on $1 billion to redo that.
Oh, geez, okay. I've probably heard it referenced to, you know, a specific name.
It has a
I've-
name, you're
Yeah,
absolutely right. I
I've
forget
probably
what it
heard
is.
the name. I guess I'm not too far away from us. I guess I
But
don't.
my question is, why can't Wisconsin pay for half of it?
Well, they're not gonna?
No, I guess Minnesota's responsible for that bridge, I guess.
Well, it could be that Wisconsin's responsible 100% for another one.
That could be, I don't know.
You know, that's how we do it with, on borders. Like say with other counties on a road like that, it's like, nope, this is your mile, your structure, and then this is your mile and your structure, and just kind of do it that way, so we're not trying to make decisions with 2 people, you know, what kind of bridge you want there, how do you want it done, and, you know, just probably easier that way, as long as you can find something that's.
Otherwise, it'd be hard to just replace your half and.
Exactly, yeah. Yep, so. Great, well, so that's all I had for today.
Okay, and thank you. Any other things to come before us today?
I would move for adjournment.
Okay, let's move to adjourn.
I'll support that.
Dallas, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
Aye.
carried.
Nick, that
Thank
bid
you.
was for both projects, right? That bid was for both projects, right?
Have a good day, Dan. See you at
Have a
lunch.
good day. We'll talk to you later this afternoon.
You guys go on.